Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Underneath the Vanity. I'm Mama Reeves, and today we are going to be diving into a very, very tough topic for me to discuss, and that is Uncovered Truth Episode 1, the top 10 lies I believed to be true and still struggle with. So I want to make a huge disclaimer right here and now. With these top 10 lies that I believed, in no way, shape, or form am I blaming, condemning, shaming, exploiting anybody here. Those are not my intentions whatsoever. And I want to make it very clear that I have an amazing family, I have a wonderful community, and the people that have been in my former life are wonderful people as well. So with that being said, we're going to be diving into the top 10 lies that I struggled with. The first lie that I believed was that I had a fairy tale childhood. I was literally told this in my family growing up, and that's what I believed. And when you're a child, you believe what your parents say. You believe what your family, your relatives, they tell you, because you believe that to be the truth. I had a good childhood, but I did not have a fairy tale childhood. There was a serious darkness going on that nobody talked about. There were traces of domestic, verbal, and emotional abuse growing up that I had to witness and that I was affected by personally. And those were things that weren't ever really put to light, and they affect me to this day. It's a darkness that I have to uncover, and a lot of repressed memories are starting to come up to the surface. And I tried to hide that, and I tried to pretend that my life was okay, and that I was fine, and that, that was then, and we don't have to deal with that anymore. That's not the way life is. And even though there were many, many amazing parts to my childhood, there was a darkness that the enemy kept within my family that has plagued my family for decades. And I'm here to completely bring that to surface and go, this is something that isn't normal. Abuse is not normal. Dysfunction is normal in any family. No family is perfect. Every family has darkness. But no one has a fairy tale childhood, even the best of families. And I had amazing parents, and I still didn't have a fairy tale childhood. The second lie that I believed to be true is there is a timeline which to live by. Now, let me briefly explain this. This timeline was created in my family, and that has been followed by in my family for generations. And this is the timeline. You're born, you learn how to swim, ride a bike, drive a car. You graduate high school. As soon as you graduate high school, you go to college, which was fully paid for, and the savings for that started from the day you were born. So you have to go to college. From college, you take as many social networking and internships as possible, and when you graduate with at least a bachelor's, and you go straight on to a very stable and financially secure job that has every form of financial and insurance security possible. From there, you stay in that career and continue to grow that stability, grow that income. And then you can find somebody at that point. You're more than welcome to start dating somebody, but that person has to come from the same timeline or similar. Otherwise, they are not worthy to be in your life and will not be approved for. You start dating that person, you date them for at least 2 years. Then you get married, then you wait anywhere from 2 to 3 years before you start having children. Then you have children, and you instill that exact same timeline that which you lived by into them. Rinse and repeat. I was told this timeline from probably the age of 3. And I thought that's the way people lived. And I was instilled that if I didn't live that way, that I would not be as valuable to society, nor as successful as I could be. And I was told that this is the way to do life. Now, this was something I wasn't told, but it was insinuated. If I met people along my life that did not have a similar timeline to this, they were not as bright, they were not as successful, they weren't as prestigious, and they weren't viewed in an equal manner. And those people were treated as subservient and viewed as subservient in my family. Lie number 3 that I believed was, it follows with the timeline, people were just like my family. The majority of people in the world, or at least people in this country, were just like my family, and if not, those people were not as successful, intelligent, valued in society or to my family, and therefore they were subservient. And I can give a million examples to this. When I was growing up, there was a girl that I knew that lived in a trailer park, and I was so afraid to tell my family about that. And I remember I was going over to her house for a sleepover, and my family found out about it, and they laughed at me, and they mocked me, and they thought I was hanging out with white trash, because obviously if you live in a trailer park, then you're white trash. Obviously that's not true. And so anyway, I was very ashamed, and turned out I ended up leaving that sleepover early, and mostly it was because there was a scary story that was told that freaked me out to no end, and I'm very easily frightened, so that was kind of the reason why I left early. But initially I was so ashamed that I had a friend who didn't come from the same timeline, and so from that point forward, all the way into a chunk of my college experience, I just stayed with friends that came from a similar timeline to mine, parents that were still married, upper middle class, similar statuses in that way. And I really missed out on a lot of great people that I could have gotten to know, but I didn't because of fear of rejection from my family and the shame that came with it. Lie number 4 that I believed: college is everything. Big disclaimer here. Huge disclaimer. I am in no way bashing my opportunity to go to college. I am so grateful for it. I am not in any way, shape, or form exploiting that. I think college is a wonderful resource and tool, and that if you can go, I would encourage everyone to have if they have the opportunity or means to make it happen, I encourage people to go. But if you're not called to do that, or if you are not able to do that, that does not make you less of a person. That doesn't mean that all of your opportunities are smaller. College enhances opportunities, but it doesn't just make magic happen and success in life. Definitely not. So college was everything, and I was told from the age of 3, like I said previously, I was going to college, and I had no other options. I had no choice. I had to go to college. Did I enjoy my time there? Yes, I did, and I'm really glad I had the opportunity. But being told that you had to and there was no other option, that's a lie. That's not true. And I still struggle with that mindset. But what my husband and I plan on doing with our kids is allowing them the freedom when they get to that age that if you want to go to college, you can go to college. We support you 1,000%. We're not going to tell you you have to go to college. There are many benefits too, but if you're not being called to that, you shouldn't do it. The final lie, the 5th lie that I believed was do not be truly transparent about what is going on in your life, even with loved ones or family. Now, again, this wasn't explicitly told to me, but this was very much implied. In my family, we did not talk about the hard stuff. We never talked about the domestic abuse. We never talked about the verbal or emotional abuse. We just would slide it under the rug and go, okay, we're good now. Everything's good. It's important to move on and move forward in things, but when serious darkness is happening, I think it is creating a future problem for your children by going, no, it's fine. It's all better now. but the darkness keeps coming back. It continues to be a cycle. Instead of bringing it to the light and discussing it in a constructive and effective manner, it's easier to just beat it under the rug. And I know I think most families deal with this. And I am now finally coming out and talking about the darkness that I endured in my past and in future episodes to come that I'm currently struggling in. Of course, I'm using discernment, and that's something I'll be talking about later, and the importance of having discernment as you discuss the darkness. Like I've said in my live streams on Facebook, it's important to not just run to the nearest Fred Meyer and tell somebody every moment and every darkest hour that you've had. That doesn't make any sense. That's not wise. That's not using discernment and being selective with what you say. But I'm needing to get this out because this is not only for my healing, but I believe that God is going to use this to help other people expose the darkness that is in their life. And I believe that when you bring something to the light, the enemy can't stay. He cannot stay in God's light. He can stay in the shadows. And to hide the things that we struggle with in life, it's feeding the enemy. It's allowing him to bring that shadow to more darkness and more darkness and more darkness. And that creates misery for us and potentially toxicity for other people. So this is where I'm going to be ending my episode. This is part 1 of the top 10 lies. Next Saturday, I will be posting the second and final part of the top 10 lies. And feel free to comment down below if you have ever struggled with any of these things. I am totally down to be a listening ear, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you for viewing this. I'm very humbled and honored that you took the time, and I'm excited to post more videos. And just as a future reference, not every video is going to be super talking about darkness, but it will be, for the first couple episodes, I'm going to be talking about some serious, intense stuff. But after that, I have an amazing series that I'm going to be launching. Stay tuned for that. Again, thank you so much for watching. Blessings to you all, and I'll see you in the next episode.